The battle for the final spot in the Braves rotation is heating up, and it is electric. Yesterday, AJ Smith-Shawver, 2.2 innings. I think he had, something like 10 whiffs or something over 2.2 innings. That could be off, but he was electric, had 3 strikeouts on the changeup, 5 strikeouts in total over just 2.2 innings. His fastball this spring is up to 97, averaged 94.5 a year ago. That's a 2-mile-per-hour increase. Obviously, that's extremely substantial. Then you have a guy like Hurston Waldrep. He has his spring training debut. He looks electric, hit 2 hitless innings, a couple of strikeouts on that nasty split finger. He's touching 99 on the radar gun. And then you have a guy like Reynaldo Lopez, who has touched 100 on the radar gun in the past. He has pitched 5 innings this spring training, has only allowed 4 base runners to reach. And I haven't even talked about Bryce Elder. So you got 4 guys that legitimately are all MLB ready, or very close to being MLB ready, vying for one spot.
Yeah, it's just, I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. It's an embarrassment of riches. I said it a week ago, and I'm going to really harp on it if I end up being right. But I said that we could be talking about this rotation if everybody's healthy in the same vein we were talking about the offense last year. I'm serious, because of Chris Sale. Like you've been saying, Chris Sale's stuff is still all-star caliber. Obviously, we know what we have in Max Fried and Spencer Strider. Charlie Morton would just, only be the best 4th pitcher in baseball. And then you've got that 5th spot for a guy in Reynaldo Lopez who could potentially be a diamond in the rough that many people thought would just be a reliever. And then 2 other guys in Hurston Waldrep and AJ Smith-Shawver who have frontline starter potential, who are chomping at the bit to get in Atlanta. They're probably going to start in Gwinnett. Like, again, it's just an embarrassment of riches, and we could seriously be talking about this rotation as something magical in terms of the history of baseball if everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine if Charlie Morton, Chris Sale, Max Fried, and Spencer Strider don't start 20-plus games across the board, that this team does not win over 100 games because of how good that offense is. And whoever slots into that 5th spot, you got to have confidence in them, because it may be a revolving door at the beginning until they figure it out, but eventually one of these guys is going to step up and take a stranglehold on it. I've said Reynaldo Lopez is the clear-cut front runner, but that's strictly because of roster management purposes. Having him as a starter early in the season, first of all, you don't want to go bullpen to starter because you can't stretch a guy out in the middle of the season. So if they want to try him out as a starter, it has to happen on opening day. And then secondly, it allows them to keep one of those bullpen arms like a Ken Giles or something like that they wouldn't have been able to keep had they chose Bryce Elder, AJ Smith-Shawver, or Hurston Waldrep, who all have options.
Yeah, I think that is very clear. It's from a roster management standpoint, it's going to be Reynaldo Lopez. And we said this even before spring training, that AJ Smith-Shawver or Hurston Waldrep would have to absolutely blow the Braves away to secure that 5th spot for that reason. Not only would they have to be as good as Reynaldo Lopez, they would have to be so good that the Braves would be like, okay, Reynaldo, we're going to have to keep you in the bullpen. That's how good they were. And it just goes to show, again, embarrassment of riches. That's just the fact.
Well, and to your point, I mean, they're coming very damn near close to do it. I mean, obviously there's still more opportunities for them to prove themselves, but listen, they're doing as good of a job as they possibly can in terms of how their stuff looks, in terms of the results and stuff like that. So Reynaldo Lopez, you can't just pencil him in right now. Obviously, I'm saying he's the front runner, but as good as these other guys have looked, there's no reason to believe that potentially they can't blow the Braves away, so much so that they end up riding with a guy like Smith-Shawver. I would tend to give him probably the edge. I think he's your 6th guy. Then maybe you're talking about Elder and Hurston Waldrep, but it's insane.
Talking about a 2023 All-Star as your 7th guy.
And Ian Anderson might be your 9th guy by the middle of the year, and Ian Anderson threw 5 no-hit innings in the World Series.
Yeah.
And Huascar, who knows? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Darius Vine's a pretty good little young pitcher, and you're not even talking about him as your 11th or 12th option. Alan Winans was making starts for this team.
Yeah, that Gwinnett rotation is going to be absolutely nasty. We might have to go down to Gwinnett and watch some of those games.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you talk about the lineup, and the depth is what made it so fantastic last year. This year, this rotation, the depth is what's going to make it so elite, because yes, a guy could go down. Inevitably, one likely will go down, even though we don't want that to happen. And it's going to be a next man up. And that next man up could look even better than the guy went down, because it's that much talent at the top of this Braves starting pitching staff. It's going to be really fun to watch in 2024. The entire Braves are going to be fun to watch in 2024. That wraps up our show for this evening. Thank you guys for joining us. We will be back with you on Wednesday.